What is up, YouTube subscribers and fellow ninjas? This is Ryan, aka The Real Convict. I'm here with Jonathan, aka LJ Man.
Also known as Johnny Boy 5000 on YouTube.
And we'll be doing a commentary per request of Bioshock. Remember to subscribe to this channel and Not Now I'm Gaming. And check out Beautiful Swag's channel for some cool Gears videos and more cool stuff coming up. Now, let's jump into this. You have any opening words?
Besides, I'm in a plane smoking a cigarette, checking my wallet, looking at my beautiful family, and hoping that nothing's gonna happen that's really, really bad. But other than that, I mean, we're talking about former Game of the Year here.
Yep, back in 2006. Now, when this game came out, I even remember the day I bought it. I got home, I was like, let me jump in on this. And just this intro, the whole introduction of the game, it captures you, it just glues you. You like, I want to keep going to see what's going to happen to me, my character. Like, who am I? Why did my plane crash? This must suck for this guy.
And, you know, paying attention to detail and graphics, you know, that's one of the key elements to why the game was so successful. Is the graphics were so good, you know, you can't help but think that most of this is real. Now, I know, you know, some character models and all that look a little bit fake, but for its time, like I said, well, like Ryan here said, in '06, it was really ahead of its time. And
Yes, it was.
You know, in 2006, we already had games like Modern Warfare, Oblivion, you know, plenty of others that I can't really think of the top of my head, but they all had, you know, these great graphics and great storylines, and Bioshock was one of them. And, you know, obviously Modern Warfare 4 completely exceeds whatever people think of Bioshock, because, you know, it's a very successful game with online, and obviously Bioshock didn't have online. This is a purely campaign game. You know, Oblivion was the same. And, you know, once you dabble into multiplayer, it's kind of taking away the story element, but nonetheless, this game really did a great job with its story element.
Yeah, just the story of the character, the everyman, I guess, getting caught in this bad situation which you think is purely by chance, ultimately leading to you finding out your own origins, your like character, who he is, who he was.
His name's Jack, for God's sakes.
I know, such a simple name for probably, I think, one of the most complex characters in gaming. I mean, when you see this, you can honestly compare it to its if I may call it the predecessor, you know, System Shock. Games like Half-Life, just the atmosphere, maybe even, if I can dare to say, Doom 3 or Quake 4. Because you see, the thing about first-person shooters, which let's just call it this, they're always linear. They're somewhat bland. They're more of like action epics. But what those games do is they make you slow down to savor the game, savor the atmosphere. The lovely artwork, the little propaganda posters on the wall, what Doom 3 did with the whole extremely dark atmosphere, which gave it that scare factor. What gives this game the scare factor is the environment. You're in an underwater city. The fear of, I don't know, drowning, maybe getting killed, and you personally thinking that no one's gonna know I died here. Like, what was my life meant to? I mean, when you look in games like that, that's when you truly feel a connection with the games. That's when you know that you can appreciate a game. It's when you can delve deep into it, such as that. I'm gonna pass over to J-Man for a second.
Those little mini games, and I know why Ryan stopped, because, you know, I brought this up a little while ago. Those little mini games that they do to, you know, initiate the hacking sequences, that was obviously brought up from System Shock. You know, they brought it back to Bioshock so that, you know, people can really get into the whole hacking phase. And
by the way, for those of you who don't know what System Shock is, a PC game, if you can check out videos on YouTube, recommend it.
Yeah, it was created by the original creators of this game,
Irrational Games.
Irrational Games, exactly.
And Looking Glass Studios. And keep an eye out, guys. Irrational Games will be making Bioshock Infinite, so be sure to pick that one up.
But you know, going into gameplay-wise, you know, you have obviously all the plasmas and all the power-ups and stuff. You know, I just gotta say that for a game that takes the complete element of a first-person shooter, which is just grab the guns and start shooting, you have that other element now where you can start using, you know, your power-ups and stuff like that, your plasmids, and you know, not many games bring up that element, and that can really change the gameplay for you, because there'll be a bunch of enemies, you know, standing on a top oil slick, or they're standing in water, and bam, you throw out the shock. You don't even have to waste your bullets. You can save them for the boss fight, which is, the boss fight would be none other than
the Big Daddies, which just, once again, the plasmas they just further stretch out what you can do to approach a situation, like maybe having the hypnotized Big Daddy to maybe take out surrounding enemies, maybe even throwing a swarm of bees on the Big Daddies to disorient them, even on the enemies. Just all these things let you approach things differently, whether it is to conserve ammo, to just go by it. It's all you. It's you. It's not, you know, call sign Overlord telling you to go to objective A. No, it's some guy telling you on the radio what you should do, you doing what you gotta do for yourself to survive in this underwater wasteland.
Now, there's a lot of elements brought up from System Shock that many people do not notice. Like, for example, the bathroom scene that passed a while ago, and the overall radio scenes where, you know, Fontaine and Ryan are trying to speak to you. Those are brought from System Shock, and I think people tend to forget that a lot of the feeling and a lot of the gameplay element that you get out of this is, if you play System Shock, you'll realize, oh man, they brought that in Bioshock. In this scene, you're gonna see the Big Daddy finally show up, and you see that little girl right there. That the whole game is based on that little girl. Those little girls are chock full of Atom, which they collect through bodies, and it's up to you to decide whether or not to harvest them or save them. And that really gives you sort of an alignment, kind of like between good and evil, and it's really objectivist. And for a game to make you think like that, to make you feel like, you know, you need to choose between what you want and what you feel is morally obligated to do, which is save the little girls. But, you know, there could be people that just want to harvest and be the most powerful character in the game. It's all up to them. So that's a really good, unique aspect.
And now this is, I mean, quite possibly one of the best sequences in a game in the past decade, if I once again may be so bold as to say, just because of how it presents itself. The man who created this underwater utopia is presenting to you his dream of a perfect world, but that's for another video. I'm Ryan, this was Jonathan. Follow us on YouTube at XCONV1CTX. Follow Beautiful Swag. Follow JohnnyBoy5000. Check me out on Twitter at XCONV1CTX. Thank you for watching.
And most importantly, keep it real.
Thank you.